Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our Tuesday Abacus Law webinar. My name is Perry Paxton Lafferty, and our topic today is the very exciting General Ledger reports. Okay, the way this goes is you will have the GoToWebinar panel over on the side of your screen. There's a little spot in there where you can ask questions because everyone is in the muted mode for background noises because, believe it or not, it can get pretty darn noisy. And I know you don't want to miss 1 minute of this exciting information. But if you do have a question, please feel free to type it in there. And after the presentation, I will get into my questions and be able to answer them for everybody. Also, if you think of something in the middle of the night and you would like to ask us, you just simply can email the question to webinars@abacusnext.com, and they will get that question to me, and I will be able to answer it for you. Okay, so with that being said, I'm hoping everybody can see my screen. I have my Abacus Law accounting portion of the program open here. And we're going to talk about the GL reports today. So I'm going to start over here under GL and drop that open. And there are, of course, is more than one way to do things. I think there's more than one way to do everything at Abacus Law, but you can get your reports right here at the bottom of this screen, or you can come over to the report drop-down menu and obviously get to the reports here. This is all the different categories of reports for Abacus. And actually today we're also going to go into report groups so we can figure out how to pull the reports we like and customize your own report group. So at any time with the punch of a button, you pretty much can email or print or even preview the reports that you particularly like. So that's the good part, if you ask me. All right, so let's go ahead and click on GL. And yes, there are a lot of reports in here. These are pretty much traditional accounting reports, okay? Once again, just to give you a little bit of information, if there is a report that you have been using, maybe it's from another system or something, and it's really not here, okay, and we can't kind of put the two things together, let us know and give us kind of like a mock-up of the report. I can't say that they're going to put it in the program next week, but we get our ideas from the users. So if there's something you like to use and you think it'd be benefit for everybody, let us, submit it. You can do that again through webinars at AbacusLaw or AbacusNext.com. And, that's how we build the program out. So please don't be shy. Okay, so the balance sheet. I'm going to use the 2018 year because I don't have a lot of data in my little make-believe program for 2019. So just so we can see something, although this is all fake stuff, we'll go ahead and open it up. Some of these reports don't ask for a lot of criteria. Okay, in this case, this is the one that only needs the month and the year. It is a cumulative report that will pull from your last unclosed year. Okay, so here we go. And this is a pretty simple balance sheet. Okay, I don't have a lot of stuff in here. Our first page are the asset accounts, and page 2 are the liability accounts and the capital accounts. Okay, pretty standard layout here. And of course, your GL should always be in balance. Your general ledger will reflect this. And if you look closely, you'll see I am actually out of balance. Okay, so, looking at this, it's kind of like, ooh, okay, this is a good way to understand, to know why. To say I'm not in balance. And in a minute, I'm going to show you the report where you can find out why you're not in balance. Okay, so that's kind of just leading us off with the investigative part to come. All right, so that's a pretty standard balance sheet. There are two cash disbursement listings, because I'm sure you all can read too. And basically, this is a very simple one, okay? It's coming from your operating account. It automatically defaults to that. If you wanted to show a different cash account, you certainly can look it up from your chart of accounts. Maybe you have a cost account or a payroll account. You could come in here and look at this as well. Okay, my data is only in my operating account, so we're going to stick with that. And of course, the different reports have different options to choose from. So please play with it and see what you like. It's a pretty straightforward cash disbursement listing. It will let you know with the little asterisk next to the check number if it has been voided. Okay. All right. That's pretty straightforward. Of the two, I like this detailed cash disbursement report a little better, okay, because this will actually give you client and matter numbers if, in fact, the check that was written was for a client matter, was charged to the client matter. So this is good to pull. You've got a really old check and somebody says, well, just void that thing. Well, what client matter was it for? What's it going to do to their balance? Okay, obviously the check voids, they're not going to owe that money. So if we look at this one here, okay, if it was for a client matter, you've got the client number and the matter number right here. Okay, obviously some of these others aren't, so they would be missing out of here. But the ones that are actually have this here, so that may help you. I know I've needed that in the past to find out who the heck does this check belong to. Okay. I'm not going to go through all of these because it could get very, very boring. I'm going to hit the highlights here. The cash or the checkbook register, that is a very common one everybody uses. Here again, we have a date range to pull from. Now, how does it keep knowing to start and end with the 2018 year? That's actually coming from up here. This is what we call the speed bar. Whatever date you plug in here will automatically feed to any screens you open in Abacus. So that's how it knows. Nothing magical here. Okay. And there we go. And we've got all kinds of entries in here. Basically, the date of the transaction, if it was a check number, you will see it. If it was a journal entry, it will say so. Okay, payees. All right, if there is a vendor involved, it will be listed. Otherwise, it's telling you a little bit about the entry. Okay, apparently I play with my beginning balance quite a bit in my training classes. But it gives you all the information on your description lines. Was it a deposit? Was it a withdrawal? And the journal entry number that goes along with the entry. Okay, that can be invaluable. Abacus actually assigns these numbers and these types as the work's being done during your during the day. So you don't have to worry about assigning a crazy journal entry number. Voided checks are assigned general. This happens to be a journal entry that was done. So you can see that you can go through that. You got many pages up here, and you could just flip through everything, seeing what's going on. So that generally contains a lot of information. So that one's good. Next, this is a good one. Daily posted cash receipts. All right. Have you ever gotten into the situation when you're trying to do a bank reconciliation and you're trying to figure out who are in the deposits? Where did that money come from? Well, this is the report. I love this report when I'm doing bank reconciliations because it will tell you, once again, by date range for the account you specify. And this one you could break down into just certain clients and certain matters. Okay, I'm going to leave the all in there. And it's going to show you all the deposits that were made on any particular day. So this one, I'm starting out with January 25th. Okay, it's got my client number, my matter number, which are lovely, but what you really like seeing is the matter description and the dollar amounts. So when you're trying to do that bank reconciliation and figure out, okay, does the bank have the same deposits I have? This may help you along the way. Okay, so that's a cool one. Expense summary. Well, I'm going to show you the income and expense summary. This is just the expense side. I'm going to show you one that's got the income on it as well. They do break down a couple of these reports into just revenue versus just expenses, but I would think what we're mainly looking for is the whole thing. So I'll show you that in a minute. Here is the little report that can help you if your GL is out of balance. Now, we're not talking about the checkbook here, all right? It's not the checkbook. It's not the bank account that we're out of balance by. It's our books. So I'm going to put in the date range because you really don't want to see all the data in my system. So we'll just do last year. And we say preview. And this is every entry by journal entry, okay? So every transaction in the system with the debit and credit accounts, okay? So it gives you the journal entry number, the date, the accounts that were affected that are in the transaction, the account descriptions, okay, what it was done, okay, and our debit and credit. So if your journal entry, the debits don't match the credits, that's where your problem lies. Now, I believe Abacus has taken away the ability to do one-sided journal entries. Okay, so you shouldn't ever get into the predicament where your books are out of balance, but just in case you did, or I also recommend this report being printed at year end, because then the tax accountant has everything they could need here, knowing exactly what was debited and credited in each transaction. So we've got a lot of pages here. We go to the end, and always at the end of any of the reports are the grand totals. Okay, and looky there, I've got something going on. In one of these many pages, there's a journal entry that's not in balance because my debits do not equal my credits. So this is a perfect example of how you can find something. And the rest of it is just work, looking at the debit balance, looking at the credit balance, debit balance, credit balance, all the way through. Okay, 93 pages here, so it would take a while to go through all of that, but it is doable. All right, so we don't want to give up. We could find it if we needed to. Okay, so that's good to know. All right, so now another way of looking at the voluminous amount of data in your GL is this general ledger detail listing. Instead of by journal entry, this is by account. So it starts, well, you could do a range, but I'm just going to pull up the whole thing. It starts with, oh, don't do this to me. Come on. Okay, maybe we will do a range. Let's see. You can pull an account. Let's pull our operating account through our, go way down here, say all the way through our travel account. All right, see if this one will pop up for me. Oh, great. It's not giving me my information. I thought I just pulled this up a minute ago. Anyway, it's supposed to give you every single transaction within your date range for every single account listed on your chart of accounts. So it goes through and chronologically every entry in the operating account, then every entry in the client cost account, then every entry in the trust account and your other trust account, and it goes through all of the liability accounts, all of the capital accounts, revenue accounts, and expense accounts. So here again, this report is quite long, depending on how much work you do, in your system. So this really is one that I would give to the tax accountant at the end of the year, because then you can see in every single account all of the information that's happened during the year. Oh, yeah. Okay, this one is a Canadian report, so we don't need to worry about that. Income statements, obviously that's a good thing. What we're looking at here is you have 4 or 5 different ways of pulling an income statement. So here we are. We could do month only. We could do month and year. You can pick your own range that you want to do from through, or compare this year versus last year. All right, so if I was doing month only, okay, I can come in here and just say December, because I don't think February has anything in it, of last year. And it's just the month. Okay, all the accounts that were affected from my chart of accounts. If an account had no activity, it will not be listed on here because we're not going to be showing zeros. Okay, now from there you could grow it and make it month and year to date. So once again, put the numbers in here. And you can choose between calendar and fiscal. You probably know best what your business is running by. So then we have the current month versus the year. All right, so it goes through all of your revenue, I should say your income accounts, then your expense accounts. And this one actually has 3, no, it doesn't have 3 pages, does it? Total expenses. Let's see what's on the next page. Oh, hold on here. Let's move this back up. Why does it have 3 pages? Oh, it's really 2 pages, but there we go. Our profit or loss is on the next page. So That's a very concise income statement. A lot of information, or I should say a lot of accounts in there. My minimal little accounting program that I have data in. But that is an important one we know that we want to have every month. Okay. This is the one that's both income and expenses. So this is a more detailed look rather than just the plain old income statement that lists month and year to date. This actually will show a 12-month period, I believe. So you put in the beginning month. Okay, so we'll do from January through the year. And every month has a breakdown of all of the revenue versus all of the expenses. Okay, so that's going to show you a little bit more detail in one piece of paper so that you can get an idea of when you're spending money on certain areas versus others. So that's a good one. A lot of people do like this report. And of course, on page 2 are the totals. Okay. All right. And we move down some more Canadian reports for their tax structures. Then we have our trial balance. All right. Now we know how important that is. Abacus has, this is popping up every single account with the balance for that account between our date frames here. I just don't want it to be a million pages, so I'm going to shorten that up a little bit. And you can include zero balances if you want to on this one. But basically, it's every account from the chart of accounts that has information. The closing balances as of prior to my beginning date, right? Then the activity within this date range, and then the closing balances. So this is a combination of your balance sheet and your income statement. So this is the big daddy here. This is showing all of the transactions in, I should say totals of transactions in each account for your actual chart of accounts. Okay, so you can see lots and lots of different things. This gets into all of the detailed accounts. I should mention that. The income statement and the balance sheet will not show these detailed accounts. These accounts are summarized into their subheader. So, for example, all here at the beginning, let me make this a little bigger because Lord knows it's tiny. Okay, so for example, the trial balance is showing every account. My partner's salary, my associates, the paralegals. Oops, I must not have had any before 2018 because there's nothing there. And my admin. Then on the income statement, it actually, instead of going into all this detail, takes the summary of these 4 accounts, these 4 amounts, and places it into what's called the subheader. So that's why when you're looking at your trial balance, it's longer than your income statement or your balance sheet. Besides the fact that it's all of them, it shows the detail accounts here, does not show on those other 2 financial statements. So this is everything. And then if you did the general ledger detail, the one I couldn't make come up, that will show every transaction that makes up these dollar amounts. Okay. All right. Now for the fun part. Okay. How can I get those reports ready to go at the one punch of a button so that I can just have them emailed to my boss or to myself or printed out? Well, that's over under reports. We're going to come down and build our report group. Now, Abacus comes with some already set up, as you might be able to see here. You've got some billing reports, some accounting reports, some management reports, whatever. But the idea is here you can add your own. You can add your own selection of reports. So add, and when you click on add, it's going to be asked to put in the name of the report group. So we'll just call them Perry's Reports. Okay. Now what I do is highlight my report group. Okay, obviously there's nothing included yet. I haven't done anything. So next I come over to my available reports and I open up the category that I want to pull from. So in this case, let's say GL, and I highlight a report and I hit include. Okay, that's going to take the option for a balance sheet and put it into my group. So when I want to run it, it will know I need a balance sheet. So I hit include. Now, any of the criteria when it comes up and asks you how you want to see the report, what do you want included? This one's very basic because all it is a date frame. We're not doing dates right now. We're just simply saying, I want a balance sheet, so save it. And it puts the idea that I want a balance sheet right here. Later, when I actually come to run them, all I do is say what date I want and tell it to go to the destination. So let's take that detail report. I like the cash disbursement detail. Hit include. Now here I have the option to actually pick an account. I like my operating account, so I hit save. Okay, let's see if I can find one that asks more questions. How about this one? Okay, well, this is wanting to know, do I want all my clients or an individual client, or all my matters or an individual matter? So we got a little more there to choose from. All righty. Let's see. Let's go down here. And general journal listing, we like that one. Include, not a lot of information here. You could print this by just one kind of journal entry. All right, maybe if you're doing some research, trying to get in here and figure out what's going on with something, you may want to do that, but normally people choose all. There we go. So we're compiling a list of all the reports I'm going to want at some point. So there we go, my income statement. What kind of income statement do I want? Let's include it. Okay, let's say I want two different income statements. Maybe I want the month and year to date, so that's good, and I'm going by calendar year, so that's good, and I hit save. Now I can come back in and choose another one. So I want to include it, and this time I want compare this year versus last year. Okay, so I could have two different income statements put into my list, and then when I choose to go to my destination, they will print each way. So that's kind of fun. Right? This is the fun part of our job, is to get all the information that we actually have worked on all year, all the stuff we've input. Now we can actually see it come up. So include a trial balance. And here again, there we are. Save. So now, and oh, by the way, we of course are talking about GL reports today, but you could put reports from anything in here. Let's say I want a couple AP reports. So I just click on the little folder. Oh, I need my cash requirements to report to see how much I owe. So include that one. Okay, and that's got some choices here. Okay. All right, so there's that one. Maybe I want a trust report. Okay, that trust report detail, I love that report because that shows me every transaction in every matter for my date range. So include that. Okay, now this one does give me more to choose from. And save it. So you can go through and pull any reports you want from any of these different folders and just place them down here in your report group. Now comes the magic day. It's the end of the month, or it's Friday, March 1st, and the boss says, I want to see the reports for February. So all you have to do after you get all February's data in is open this up. Sorry, wrong button. Open this up. Go to my report groups. I want Perry's reports, and I want them for what? This month, and I want them emailed. Okay, who are they being emailed to? And boom, off they go. All the reports in your report group will then be sent to whatever email I'm putting in here. Every report that we selected will be sent to that person for this date range. Wow, that went by pretty darn quick, didn't it? Okay, well, it really is that simple as far as setting up your report groups. Every boss, if there's 2 or 3 partners, you could have report groups for each and then email them reports at the end of the time frame, maybe at the end of the week. And like I say, you can pull from any of these and put them together in any grouping that you would like. Let's say I wanted to take out one of the reports. Boss says, I don't like this one. I don't need to see it anymore. So you can just highlight it and hit delete, and it takes it out of your little group. Of course, it doesn't delete it out of the program. You can always re-add it if you'd like. Okay. You can see the details in any of these reports by clicking on the detail button so you know what you chose as far as, what's going to go onto that page. Okay, guys. Well, that I think was the easiest webinar I've ever had. Can you think of any questions? These webinars are recorded and you can get them. I think they automatically send you a copy just because you registered for the webinar, so you will be getting them whether you wanted to or not. But, I kind of put them away with all my other videos so that when the time comes, if I need to look up how to do something, I've got it right there at my fingertips. All right, everybody. Well, I don't want to keep you just talking about something that why take away time from your day? I appreciate you coming to our webinar. Every week we try to hold two on Abacus accounting, or I should say Abacus. Generally, one is on AbacusLaw, and the other is either on billing or accounting. You can find that at the Abacus Next website, and you can also sign up for private classes there. Obviously, here it's more of a group setting. We just try to give overall information for everybody. But on the website, you can sign up for your own classes, ask your own questions. We don't have to stay on one little topic, okay? Somebody asked me today, well, I don't know how to input time, and I want to know how to do a pre-bill. Well, those two topics can be covered in a class, not a problem. You don't have to find a class for notes and a class for pre-bills. So don't be afraid to sign up for a class. We always welcome getting to talk to our clients and find out what's going on out there in the real world. So thank you all very much, and you have a lovely afternoon. All righty. Bye-bye.